Describing the IPC Strategic Investment Department, the first things that come to mind are their composure and the belief that the cosmos is in their hands. The most dazzling members of the department are certainly those handpicked by Diamond himself, the 10 Stone Hearts. With careful planning and precise calculations, they hunt down the debts owed to the IPC. But there is one Stone Heart who stands out, who does not believe in meticulous calculations. He trusts only the chips in his hand and has the guts to risk it all. He is the rising star of the Strategic Investment Department, Aventurine! For today's episode of Keeping Up with Star Rail, Mr. Aventurine's good friend, the Intelligentsia Guild's brilliant Dr. Veritas Ratio!
I wouldn't say we're friends, but he is not awful to work with, compared to the rest of the fools.
Not awful means outstanding in Dr. Ratio's dictionary.
It's a C at best.
Oh? Then let's see what our C student Aventurine is capable of. Aventurine is an imaginary character following the path of preservation. As the non-performing asset liquidation specialist of the Strategic Investment Department, his gorgeous appearance alone has debtors fleeing for their lives.
I keep telling him the flashy outfits are just making his job harder.
But that's alright, because Aventurine never lets the enemy get away. Aventurine's basic attack can deal imaginary damage to a single enemy based on his defense.
Running away is probably wiser than foolishly putting up a fight.
Exactly! Faced with foolish enemies, Aventurine unleashes the power of the Amber Lord. Aventurine's skill provides allies with a fortified wager shield for a set number of turns. The shield is stackable up to a limit. It's worth noting, effect res will increase on an ally with fortified wager, and when the ally is attacked, Aventurine accumulates stacks of blind bet. When Aventurine has fortified wager, he can resist crowd control debuffs. However, this effect does have a cooldown. Upon reaching a certain number of blind bet stacks, Aventurine consumes the stacks to launch a follow-up attack that deals minor imaginary damage to a random enemy, bouncing a certain number of times.
This combat strategy is completely illogical. Well, there's no point in teaching a gambler logic.
Well, when Aventurine uses his ultimate, he randomly gains a certain number of blind bet stacks and inflicts a nerve on a single enemy lasting for a fixed number of turns. He also deals imaginary damage to the enemy based on his defense. When an ally attacks an unnerved enemy, the crit damage dealt will increase. Just seeing blind bet in action sends me into a cold sweat.
He has a motto. Temptation is a virtue, but hesitation is fatal for gamblers.
Aventurine's technique thoroughly lives up to this motto. After Aventurine uses his technique, he will gain one of 3 defense boost effects, the degree of which is different for each of.
I'll make my exit now. Have a pleasant stay.